Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Dokkan Battle Boss Rush. So basically this is pretty much, well, from what you can see, it's pretty much just your standard Dokkan Boss Rush. Obviously with most Dokkan Boss Rushes you tend to fight multiple Dokkan events in a row, and then when you manage to beat them or beat those events, you obviously get quite a sizable stone reward, so 35 stones in this case. Obviously for most players Dokkan events are not a challenge, and if you are a brand new player and you're looking to take on Dokkan Boss Rush, maybe you finally got the ability to beat your first couple Dokkan events, you should be more than fine. Just bring a whole bunch of healing items, items like senzu beans, generally speaking will be the best items for you because they're going to keep you topped up on health, and then you are going to be able to keep things going. But yes, personally speaking, Dokkan Boss Rushes are not challenging content in any way, shape or form, but they're a pretty fun way to kind of take a look at like units, to take a look at just my box in general. It's always fun to try out the team or just to see how things go really and get an extended look at some units that we haven't seen in a while, and that's what you can get mainly out of Boss Rush, especially since there's no real challenge to it. It's kind of just more generic kind of Dokkan related content. Personally, I like to use an opportunity just to have a bit of a chat, just basically to have a bit of a discussion with you guys, and just let you guys know what's obviously been going on, and where we're heading or what plans are. But basically, to be honest with you, in terms of like Dokkan right now, obviously the big hype or the big kind of like topic is obviously the new banner format. If you've been watching my channel, you'll realize that I did a video on the new banner format recently, and personally speaking, I'm not like the happiest when it comes to this banner format change. I do talk about it obviously in the video. It's not that I necessarily hate the banner format change. I think there are some pros to changing the banner format. I think generally speaking you can get a little bit more out of it overall. I think it means that we're going to get 4 more equal units rather than 2 very good units and 2 kind of lackluster units. But yeah, generally speaking, I personally just think that the teal coin or the green coin, or whichever coin you want to call it, I just feel like it's a little bit of a slap in the face to the player base. Not that it ruins Dokkan. I think some people are getting very, very, how can I say, very, very extra about these type of things. Yeah. Ooh, it's ruining Dokkan. Dokkan is ruined. Everything is, like everything is ruined. There's no way that Dokkan can continue this way. Dokkan will continue, and for the most part it can continue, because what people don't understand is Dokkan is only relevant as far as the people that are paying for stones continue in Dokkan, and that's any gacha game. You look at Genshin, you look at all these games, the paying player base are the player base that get to decide the direction of the game. When you look at things like the Supreme Kai Grand Guidance event, people obviously bought into that idea, and it's shown that Dokkan can increase its levels of monetization. And I think that's what people don't quite understand is, things like the Supreme Kai's Guidance event, it may not seem holistically threatening, and I don't classify it as super duper predatory because it is an auxiliary game mechanic. and we're not a PvP game, but essentially it showed that they could monetize other facets of the game. And so when you talk about summoning, which is obviously their biggest monetization model, when you give a new coin type, you now are maximizing that level of profit. And people will probably still keep to it. I mean, you look at the truth, he probably bought, I don't know, 20,000 stones or something silly or stupid to basically summon on this banner. And when you do stuff like that, it's just not going to change how they react to things. 20,000 stones is, God only knows, it's like bloody $2,000 or something ridiculous, or $2,500 or something just crazy basically. And when you buy into that stuff, or when you do those sort of things, you're not answering the questions that they pose to the player base when they're trying to gauge how interested players are in something. And then part of the player base, because it's their job, and I get that he needs to have the units rainbow. That's his thing. Whether I agree with units being rainbowed in the first place or not, that is his thing. His thing is to have every unit rainbowed, and that's fine. That's how he makes his content. That's how he plays the game. I haven't watched him in about 4 or 5 years, but I assume he's still rainbowing everything. I see his thumbnails from time to time. But yeah, basically the thing is when you do these type of activities, you harm those who cannot, or you provide an answer that has a louder voice than those who abstain through lack of voice. So by not buying, you are making a stand. But by not buying, but the person next to you is buying, the company does not care about you. You just disappear. You just fall off. And that's kind of what happens in these games. And that's why their player bases shrink over time. Is the game realizes that it doesn't need to have 600,000 players. It realizes it could have 400,000 players and make 1.5 times more money. And then it realizes it can make 300,000 players and have 2 times the money, or 200,000 players and have 4 times the money, or 100,000 players and have 5 times the money. It's predation on those that are most susceptible to paying into the model. Obviously, if the game dies completely, if there's only 200 players, they're all paying a whack. People do like to do things people are interested in. So the chances of people continuing to play a game when it dwindles down to 200 players is very unlikely. But you can look at games like MapleStory, Guild Wars 2, a lot of MMO games. The sunken cost fallacy is a real thing. And in gacha games, that speaks louder than almost any. And Dokkan is here to stay. It just celebrated huge record profits. And it's really carrying a huge amount of revenue for Bandai Namco. So Dokkan is probably here to stay. The thing is whether they do things that become too hostile in the face of their player base. The teal coin isn't the end of the game. They can definitely improve it, and they will improve it, and things will get better. But it's whether they continue to go down the avenue of predating on their player base, or whether they decide they're going to rather stick with supporting their player base. Now, is it right for Dokkan entertainers or Legends entertainers to continue, to create content? No one can tell you how to enjoy your games. I still enjoy Dokkan, even with the teal coin existing. I still enjoy using my teams. I still enjoy seeing the animations. I still enjoy trying to beat the hard content. That's just how it is. It's like any game. Once you're invested and once you're into these games, it is very difficult to just stop enjoying them because maybe they've made a bad decision. You can see that with World of Warcraft. You can see that with League of Legends. You can see that with Riot and all of their issues that they've had, Blizzard and all their issues that they've had. I don't think anyone has a right to tell you to stop playing your game. Yes, maybe there's been issues that your game has, or there's been issues that the companies that own your games have had, but I feel like whenever people tell you what to play and what to do, it always comes with them wanting you to stop at the end of the day. They want you to stop because they have stopped, and they don't want you to continue enjoying something that they have decided that they don't want to enjoy, or they no longer enjoy. And that's fine. If you no longer enjoy a game because of external factors or anything like that, that is perfectly in your own opinion. You're well entitled to it. It is correct as far as yourself is concerned, and you are welcome to continue that way. But if people want to continue playing a game, then let them play the game. I just don't see what the big issue is with it. And that's why I never judge. That's why I'll never judge people for how they play the game. I'll joke around. I'll joke around and, kind of point out that, like the truth users or rainbow teams, or you'll see legends players with full max 14-star teams, or streamers and Dokkan creators using like 4,000 stones to summon every banner, 5,000, 6,000. Yeah, to each their own. If that is really what you want to do, no problem whatsoever. If you enjoy playing it that way, you enjoy playing it that way. If you enjoy making your content that way, you enjoy making your content that way. They're all far more successful than I am, so I have no room to really talk. I just like making content because I think it gives a perspective of a guy who can't get everything rainbow. And yeah, sometimes things are a struggle, but at the end of the day, it's enjoyable to make the content, to give my thoughts on the game. I think Dokkan is still in a strong place. There's a couple of hiccups here and there. I think what they can definitely do is improve on their Extreme Z awakenings. I think a lot of the Extreme Z awakenings, at least lately, have felt somewhat lackluster. And I think that's in part due to the fact that they don't want to create units that completely annihilate the curve. But I gotta be honest, it's kind of speaks, at least to me, it speaks a little bit of naivety when you don't want when you're trying to hinder units that you are trying to bring into the relevant content so that they don't affect your sales for your current units. Dokkan units should really be sold on their animations for the most part. Yes, they need to be usable, 100%. New units should be usable in most content, or at least almost able to do most content. Like, I don't expect brand new units to ace Cell Max event at 55%, but I should be able to possibly get a 55% run done on Cell Max with that unit, hopefully with a lot of good RNG. That's kind of how I see it. And for me, I think they kind of hinder the easy A's a little bit because they don't want that to negatively affect the new units. But at the same time, they then bust out like a pretty crazy Extreme Z awakening, and then it's like a unit that's just horribly broken, and everyone thinks they're insanely broken and you can't do anything about it. It is just very strange that there seems to be such a large variance between a good Extreme Z awakening and a bad Extreme Z awakening. Most of it does have to do with defense. People obviously love defense. It's the name of the game sometimes. Where this unit doesn't have 450,000 defense, or doesn't have evasion, or doesn't have guard, damage reduction, blah blah blah, fish paste. It's obviously the name of the game. Me personally, I think you can do without it. I mean, I look at Cooler, and I think Cooler can just have turns where he absolutely manifests a demon and just decimates the opposition. Then you can have turns where he is objectively terrible and looks like he is not one of the latest LRs to come out of the game. For me, that is exciting to some extent, because not exciting in the sense that like whenever Cooler does badly, I go, oh hell yeah, man, that's it. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Cooler not do any additional supers. But what it is it means that he has a bit more scope. Like, he can really pop off, or he can be kind of, alright, that was okay. And that's exciting. I don't think it's obviously great, like, to have every unit like that. I think you need stability. You need the Gokus in the world, the units who, you just kind of trust to get things done, and who, you believe can handle all the difficult content. And you need those units. We all need those units. They're the backbone of teams. But Cooler's the flair on top. Goku's the vanilla ice cream of the chocolate sundae. But Cooler is the cherries, sprinkles, chocolate sauce, and the banana split. He's the sprinkles. He's the everything else. And for me, that's fun. I like to have that dichotomy between two units. I like to have that situation exist where I feel like I have a choice between the unit that might pop off and absolutely incinerate every single bit of content, or alternatively, I get to choose a unit that is reliable and safe and does exactly what I need him to do when I need him to do it all the time. And it can be a little bit, I want to say, annoying for some people, but for me that's something I hope they bring more into the game. I just think it's better overall. I just think it's just cooler. Pardon the pun. But that's pretty much it, guys. Obviously I didn't talk much about the event. There weren't too many gimmicks involved in this. You will struggle a little bit on Boo because he's very, very tanky, but he slowly becomes easier and easier, which is probably the biggest interesting mechanic out of all of these. But there's nothing else really to focus on, guys. So go ahead, claim your stones, and get your rewards. But that's gonna be it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and just leave your thoughts down below. But that's it. Stay safe, take care, and bye.